Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Today I'm gonna present my lesson plan, and I'm gonna use two languages, Indonesian and English. Okay, lesson plan. Name of the teacher Ahmad Sobari SPD. Name of the school Mansatu Rantau. Subject English. Grade 10. Topic: which one is your best getaway? Chapter 4. Text type, descriptive text, skill writing and speaking. Time allocation 1 kali 15 menit. Lanjut ke bagian A, core competence. Core competence is given by the government, so kita ikuti aja apa yang diberikan pemerintah. Lanjut ke B, basic competence and indicator of competence achievement. Basic competence. Number 1 is 3.4, describing social functions, text structure and element, the language of a few text descriptive, oral and written, with giving and asking for information related to tourist attraction and famous historic buildings or ensemble operate with the context of its use. The indicator 3.4.1 is to enhance social function, structure, and non-linguistic tests and descriptive text. 3.4.2 explain text information related to famous stories, attraction, and famous building. Short and easy according to the context of their use. Describe orally in writing famous historical place and building. Short and simple according to the context of use. Oke, lanjut ke basic competence yang kedua. 4.4 descriptive text. 4.4.1 grasping meanings, contextual related to functions, text structure and element, the language of descriptive text, oral and write, short and simple related to tourist attractions and famous historical building. 4.4.2 compile verbal and descriptive text, write, short and simple, related to tourist attraction and famous historical buildings, with attention to functional, social, text structure and element linguistical, correctly in context. In this, the indicator the indicator basic competence yang kedua yaitu 4.4.1.1 deliver descriptive text and writing about tourist attraction and famous historical building with social function, text structure, correct linguistic elements in context. 4.4.1.2 information descriptive text from ear to ears about tourist attraction and famous place like historical place, folk legend place, and each other. Oke, lanjut ke bagian C, learning objective. In the end of the class, number 1, the students are able to identify the meaning of the descriptive text. Number 2, the students are able to describe the rhetoric, generic structure, steps of the text. Number 3, the students are able to describe the lexicogrammatical features of the text. Number 4, the students are able to analyze the structure of descriptive text based on the figure given. Attitude values focus. Number 1, religious. Number 2, nationalist. Number 3, integrity. And number 4, mutual cooperation. And lanjut ke bagian D, learning materials. Number 1, regular learning materials. Next, number 1 is fact, start and responding. Number 2, concept, social functions. And this text describe about tourists that only exist in Indonesia, which is precisely in the province of Kalimantan, yaitu adalah Tanjung Puting National Park. Jadi ini adalah contoh teks tentang descriptive text Tanjung Puting National Park. Ya, panjang sih. Ya, jadi silakan dilihat pemirsa. Jadi teks ini jelaskan tentang Taman Nasional Tanjung Puting yang berada di Indonesia, tepatnya di Kalimantan. Oke, lanjut ke prinsipal. Generic structure identification is an introduction in the form of a general description of a topic. Descriptions is a content the special characteristic given objects, place, or people describe it. Next, dominant language feature. Yang pertama, specific participant has a certain object is not common and unique. Only one. For example, Bandingan Beach, my house, Borobudur Temple, Uncle Jim. Who is Uncle Jim? Lanjut ke poin yang selanjutnya, the use of the adjective and adjective to clarify the noun. For example, a beautiful beach, a handsome man, the famous place in Jepara, and each other. Poin yang ketiga, the use of simple present tense. The sentence pattern used in simple present because it tells the fact of the object described. Lanjut ke poin yang terakhir dari dominant language features, itu adalah action verb. Verbs that show an activity, for example like run, sleep, walk out, or each other. Procedure, write and understanding the descriptive text using text structure. Yang kedua, learning materials for remedial. Descriptive text about interesting or famous some people, place, each other. Point number 3, learning materials for enrichment. Social function, general structure and language features, and short descriptive text in form of simple traveling experience, both written and oral. Oke, lanjut yang ke learning method approach, scientific approach, learning model, CLT, communicative language teaching. Learning media, LCD projector, laptop, textbook. And learning search, satu aja sih, Kementerian Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan 2017, buku siswa mata pelajaran bahasa Inggris kelas 10 Jakarta, Kementerian Pendidikan dan Kebudayaan. Modul learning 3 internet, number 4 another relevant source and each other. Lanjut ke bagian hanya teaching and learning activity. Number 1, time allocation 1 kali 15 menit. Opening activity-nya memiliki waktu 2 menit. Teacher orientation, doing the opening by reciting salam and praying to start lesson, and blah 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 blah. Seperti itulah, seperti yang tertulis di sini. Mencakup 2 menit. Lanjut kita ke main activity. Main activity. Okay. The stimulation, literation activities. Students are given motivation or stimulation to focus attention on the topic doing some ways. Jadi di main activity ini 12 menit dapatnya. Dari viewing without or with tools. Okay, pasti itu. Showing a short descriptive text about Tanjung Puting National Park as example. Reading in their own home before teaching learning activities. Students are asked to read material from textbook or other supporting books from the internet or related material. Descriptive text in form of place or thing, another thing. Listening, students are asked to listen to the material given by the teacher, which is related to descriptive text in form of Tanjung Puting National Park on chapter 4, page. Oh, ini salah ketik nih. Oh, bujur ya, page 53. Create simple descriptive text about place or other things. Critical thinking. Oke, lanjut lah. Critical thinking. The teacher gives student the opportunity to identify as many questions as possible related to the picture presented and will be answered through learning activities, for example. Sini asking the question. Kalian semua bisa lihat situ ada pertanyaannya. Lanjut dan lanjut. Collaboration and critical thinking. Students gather relevant information to answer the questions that have been identified through the activity. Observing, blah blah blah, reviewing, collecting the information, reading other sources beside textbook. Students are asked to explore their knowledge by reading reference book about how to make structured descriptive text that related to place or another thing. Representing and activities. Learners do the following activities. The student work in pairs to analyze the general functional and dominant language feature of the descriptive text based on the textbook. The student determine and tell it with other friends based on the result of the discussion. Dan lanjut, discussing, reviewing, change information about how to make a good descriptive text and blah 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 blah. Ya, seperti itulah. Critical thinking. Student and their group discuss processing the observational data in a way. Discussion about the data, how to identify structure, how to describe descriptive text according to the structure, how to make sample descriptive text. Yes. That have been collected or summarized in previous activities. And lanjut di critical thinking lagi, verification. Learners discuss the result of their observation and verify the result of their observations with data or theory in the source book through activities. Adding breadth and depth to process information that is looking for solution from various sources that have different opinion to develop honesty, conscience, discipline, obeying the rules, hard work, ability to apply procedures, and the ability of inductive and deductive thinking and improving. Present in the front of class there about their own sample descriptive text. Yeah. Includes with the student and teacher discuss together about the sample descriptive text that have been made by the students. That's right. Lanjut, generalization communication. Students are discussing to summarize, deliver the result. Discussion in the form of conclusion based on the result of the analysis verbally in writing or other media to develop an attitude of honestly, conscientiousness, tolerance, ability to think systematically, express opinion politely. Okay, lanjut. Present the result of the classical group discussion about sample descriptive text that is related to the place or another things. Express opinions on presentation made and responded to by the group presenting. Asked about the presentation and other students are given the opportunity to answer them. Summarize, answering question, ask question about things that are not understood, or the teacher throws a few questions to the students. Complete the competence test contained in the student handbook or on the work set that has been provided individually to check student mastery of the subject matter. Oke, closing activity memiliki waktu 1 menit seperti biasa. Student making summary with guidance of the teacher about the important points that merge and new learning activities carry out, scheduling homework, scheduling project that must be studied at the next meeting outside school hours or at home, and the teacher checking student work completely immediately. Students who have completed the project correctly are initiated and given a ranking number for the project assessment. Give awards to group that have good performance and collaboration. And done. Lanjut ke bagian E, assessment, remedial, and encouragement. Assessment technique, effective, spiritual, and social suppression journal. Observation assessment is based on observing the attitudes and behavior of students, both related to the learning process and general direct observation made by the teacher. The following are example of the teacher assessment. Instruction is like this. Waduh, di HP kok gini. Jadi di sini nama studentnya Koridor sama Billy Ellis. Dan sini adalah nilai-nilai mereka. Sini ada R, N, I, N, M, C. Itu yang tertulis di sini. Ya. Lanjut sampai bawah. Oke. Di sini rubrik tentang writing assessment. Kalian bisa lihat sendiri. Dan di sini juga ada aspek of speaking assessment. Ya, and that's all. Oke, sudah habis pemirsa, dan terima kasih kepada yang sudah melihat video ini, mendengarkan saya menjelaskan. Saya juga mohon maaf apabila ada kekurangan dalam saya menjelaskan lesson plan saya. Sekian dari saya. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Ahmad Sobari, signing out.